YeahBuddy on the left, starting the attack. NoBeaches on the defense. White Oak Fort bands are Sivon Arioi, Crescent Monks, Munctisaurus, Falcon at the Gunners. Let's go, Coach. I'm ready.
Let's go. It's going to be a big match. Really looking forward to this.
Let's see. Alright, here we go. Let's check out what units we're going to get. Of course, Crescent Monks are not allowed to be picked. They will be on the screen right now, but they cannot be banned, so they can also not be picked. We'll see. Alright, lots of malls right now. Yeah.
Yeah, not shocked.
Absolutely. But even on our beaches, not that many Muscles like we normally see. Yeah,
no. It'll be interesting to see what their strategy is around this.
Yep. Yeah, so for the start of the match, I think the defense is going to be way more interesting to find out if they want to defend on the walls or if they want to defend downstairs. Not even definitely that many Zicalian militia, only 2 right now.
Yeah, we see a couple units of Shenjus as well. YeahBuddy have got a load of shield men, so they're definitely want to be looking for these deathmatch fights.
Yeah, absolutely.
Try and pick up whatever heroes they can.
Yeah. So basically, right now for YeahBuddy, I think they swept out their Crescent Monks for Shield Maidens.
Yeah.
And they said, right, we're on that because they still got their Forte Braccio, they got their Imperial Spear Guards, and then they also got some of the Decorex Lances and the Shenjis.
Not much cav, to be honest with you.
Yeah, not at all.
Just even camels as well. Like, I think we see 2 units of camels in the whole fight.
Yeah, exactly, and not even 1. I think on YeahBuddy side, if I saw correctly, and only like 6 or 7 units of cav on YeahBuddy. So they definitely do have the quick clear there, but mostly Decorex Lances.
It's definitely going to be very interesting. I feel like the small amount of cav that we have on both sides there, they're definitely going to be looking for their flank plays. They're going to be looking for the glorious massive charges and whatnot. But other than that, I think both teams are getting themselves set up for big blob fights. YeahBuddy have got a lot of shield maidens, so they're obviously looking to pick off as many heroes as they can. And then NoBeaches, they look like they're going for a very blob setup with a lot of shields. 1 unit of camels, a couple of shield maidens. So
Absolutely.
YeahBuddy are definitely going for that heavy aggressive game.
And talking about aggressive, I'm looking at Amiya and Ghostex right now, both like really good Cav players, and they got Cav out from the start. So really curious to see if they want to sally out and maybe rack some havoc from the start.
Yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised. Amiya loves his flank plays and whatnot. So.
Alright, here we go. White Oak Fort. Attackers already on the artillery on the left reach, quite heavy, and also on the right side. Looks like defenders just taking it easy for now.
Yeah, they probably just want to get eyes on the attackers, see where they're most likely going to be blobbing up. YeahBuddy are definitely looking at taking down the breaches. Yeah, both are getting hit right now. And they're moving just 1 siege tower right now.
Yep.
So it's quite surprising that they're not moving anymore, just using that 1 right siege tower. Maybe they're trying to bait defenders with their artillery and try and get them to run out of ammo as quick as possible, just aiming at that one. Not 100% sure.
Yeah, quite so. Right, so most artillery is already taken out from the defenders, I think. Just on the center, there's still a couple pieces left.
Yeah, this is definitely one good thing you want to practice with scrims and whatnot, is finding these positions where you can take out the eye. It kind of gives you free reign to push siege towers, and as long as you keep a little bit of a defense in the siege towers, you can push them first time through. Yeah, we're now seeing the second siege tower starting to get moved now, and the battering ram as well. Do you see a little sap in the gate as well with Zicalian militia, Shenjis, 40s, claymores, and imp shields? So I wonder if they're going to open the main gate to stop the battering ram, because that's normally what a lot of people normally do.
Very well could be.
But, yeah, I've seen it happen before. The battering ram's just about to start hitting, and then suddenly the door opens and all the muskets and whatnot just absolutely shred for everything. But the siege tower's already hit, so YeahBuddy can definitely start looking at mounting that side.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll just kind of hovering around the main gate area.
Yeah, YeahBuddy definitely were expecting something out of the gate. Like you could see them all there, just checking Winco. That was checking through the gate to see what was there. So they know something's going on.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think it's quite common knowledge that normally defenders like to stack up in the gate with range and whatnot, and to open the gate to cause as much havoc as possible. As you can see, defenders just open the main gate.
Yep,
Yeah, and you're going to see absolute chaos unfold on the front gate any second now.
Yeah, we're trapped right away. So
there we go,
interesting, yeah. Instant trap, like straight away.
Yeah, not the best trap, but it's hit more of a wall than anything else. I don't know if YeahBuddy are actually going to go into this. They're probably just going to try and get their battering ram just to destroy the gate. Just gives them another point of entrance.
Yep. It's really close though. Close already though, so we'll see if those Imperial shields actually get it in there. No, we're just trying really hard. It's only like it only takes like a minute for oh yeah, it is there. So
yeah, there we go.
Destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So now YeahBuddy can pull back a little bit and they can start blobbing up and attacking properly. But yeah, that is.
It did cost them half a unit of the Imperial shields though, so that's a small loss there for YeahBuddy, but one that's worth it.
For a lot of teams, that's worth it. They want to try and get that main gate open as quick as possible because if defenders do decide to stack up in the gate, it means that they can get attacked from all different sides.
Exactly.
So sometimes it can be really valuable to make that gate open. Absolutely. As you can see, they've all come back and they're all going up the right side. Yeah,
so YeahBuddy's going to look to the right side of the towers right now. Both walls actually still standing, so looks like the breach might not even go down. I'm very curious to see if Amya right now is actually going to take it down himself. As I think Ghost Tech's also going down.
Yeah, it seems like they've taken both breaches down to 1-2 hits, which right now is actually quite a good idea. I'm just taking the supply point, so he's obviously trying to look for probably get Cav out any second now and start looking at for his flanking points.
Right, so let's take a quick look at the units, see what they got out. So MX Nu is on the Sikali militia, and then we have Shenji as well for Boomin, and other than that it's just the Shield Maiden, Shield Wall. Oh, and also the Fire Arch actually for Bird of Chin. So interesting.
Quite an interesting unit setup.
Alright, Amya is looking to go in the back.
With his camels.
Yep, camels out this time. Just going to capture the one. He's going to use the artillery once again to destroy them. Yep.
Isn't it a bad idea? You can definitely pick off a few range units here. Yeah, no, it's a good tactic from YeahBuddy to have full wall control. And it's like I said, without the breaches being taken down, it gives Amya very little flanking choice really, unless he takes on the breaches himself. He literally can only come through the main gate now with the camels.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we're really heavy setup from the NoBeaches inside the gate right now. There's YeahBuddy going down, looks like.
Yeah, they got a tiny setup here. Bad thing about fully committing 15 players to the left side here is that you don't have no main gate push, so that means that defenders can just simply turn around in the main gate. So that means all of their forces of Psychalian militia, muskets, 40s and shields can just face the enemy.
Absolutely. And also Amya sitting on a supply right now, capturing both supplies. It's not going to do much with his camels at this point.
Yeah. Being an annoyance. The good thing about him being out here like this is that whoever dies on YeahBuddy over the next minute or so when the big block fight's about to happen, he can technically spawn camp him. So
yep, absolutely. Ooh, good trap I think on the supply there.
Yeah, not a bad little trap.
Yeah, they got some there.
They put him right back up onto the top of the stairs again, so it'll be interesting to see what they're trying to do here. Oh, they're going across.
Oh yeah, they're going to go for the supply I think.
Yeah.
They may be trying to bait out more traps there.
Definitely a unique little strategy they're using here. They have got to be careful about that flank here, but it doesn't seem like NoBeaches want to actually come up and contest all of that. Pretty good. And as I said, without
that's right.
Amya's on the cannons on the left trying to take down. Oh, there we go.
Yep, exactly. Yep, we're nice.
Down a full unit of Iron Reapers.
That's a big hit. And now they're stuck as well. Yep.
Yep, they are stuck now. So if NoBeaches really want to defend us quite hard, they could have actually just gone right to the stairs there and they would have been stuck on the. But they are doing a full 15-man push towards the supply point by the looks of things there.
Yeah, those trees are really in the way, but anyway.
Yeah, it seems like
let's see what's going on here. Looks like the front lines will be engaging. Amya's still sitting in the back, remember?
Yeah, Amya's still chilling out. He has opened a way in for him now, for him and his camels to flank him if need to be. So they can really pinch him here now. YeahBuddy got to be careful and they've got to really show how good they are for fighting right now. Balthasar and whatnot in the front, they're definitely getting pinched themselves.
Yep, and here comes Amya in the back with his direct lenses.
Yeah,
so
here they come. So yeah, I think this might be quite a heavy wipe.
Yeah, but absolutely. Vasectomy with the shield main is also cleaning up Birth Chin's archers there on the supply. New trap is going to fly in, but it's going to be too little too late. YeahBuddy just clean wiped here.
Seems like quite a clean wipe, yeah.
Now it's all about the reinforcements. If some of these, like Sexy Q, Jeffamol, if they can actually stay on supply and make sure NoBeaches cannot get new units quick enough, then maybe they can do it on the reinforcement, but there's already a unit of Fortress sitting in the gate. And looks like supply is clear.
Yeah, NoBeaches, really good pincer there. I mean, did a good job there taking out the breach. Literally, I think he killed about, what, 50 units there?
Yep.
So, yeah, and then just coming in with another player as well to pincer him through. Yeah, very good defense by NoBeaches there. And a very interesting tactic from YeahBuddy. Very interesting tactic. That supply there is very important for defending the A point. So obviously they saw that and wanted to try and limit the units on.
Yeah, exactly right. I think the disadvantage or the problem there for YeahBuddy was that they could only really enter from one side. So NoBeaches was able to get in from multiple flanks. You could see Anya on the back, and then of course also NoBeaches fighting from the supply, but also fighting from the top. So they could like squeeze YeahBuddy into whatever they wanted.
Yeah, and as I said, taking out that breach as well. Just losing 50 units right off the bat there, and they were quite important units. Imp shields, very good in this kind of meta with CBR for blob fighting, and then Iron Reapers as well. Very good follow-up unit in blob fights. So you lose 2 units there is can be quite devastating off the bat.
Yeah, quite so.
But YeahBuddy right away, they're pulling out, they're getting right back up on that tower, right back up on the wall. I don't think they're going to go for another supply push, so I expect a bit of rotating now.
Yeah, it should definitely be different because of course the breach is not there, so they cannot even go for it. That's not an option. They need to do a different strategy here.
Exactly. Amy's still outside.
Yep, once again with the camels. Yep.
Yeah, with the camels. He does his axe throws as well, which is quite an interesting one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yuko actually got an insane amount of kills with his Shenji. Still got them out, 13 of those left.
Lovely. Someone is flanking on the wall as well.
Ooh, Bird of Chin actually picking off Ioku. Ooh, that's a really good kill because Ioku was sitting on the Shenji and they were really important in the last fight, so we'll see if this makes a huge difference. Alright, sitting in the gate though.
Are they going to take on the gate or are they just going to hold it off?
They're just
someone
put
is
in
coming in
front.
the back of the Shenjis right now on the door, but Lazy's right on top of him.
Alright. So still not capping. There's always still someone from. Ooh, those Imperial shields at the gate are going to be those with those dagger axe lances.
No, I don't see much anti-cav here. Except for one unit. Oh,
big flanks from the Cavs here. Ghost Axe also getting through with his dagger axe lances. Sexy Kebab's cleaning up those though. Brave Hakan still holding strong with Forte and a Baltzar with this Shenji as well to front. But looks like NoBeaches is getting ground here. More heroes getting killed.
Yeah, NoBeaches literally using all the flanks they can to try and get through every single little hole here to try and. They're really doing well with splitting up YeahBuddy. You can see here, literally got 2 mini fights happening at the bottom of these stairs on the right side and the left, one point. And this is NoBeaches, like, this is a perfect play. They can start picking off heroes one at a time. They can really start piling each hero here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what they've been doing with YeahBuddy. YeahBuddy, still very good players and whatnot, but against light and medium armor, they can really get taken down. Definitely it's 2, 3 on one person at a time.
Yeah,
basically on top of the wall right now. It's got Boomin, holding off of Lazy and Heiter.
Yeah, it's the last one gonna fall here on the walls, Boomin.
Yeah, go on Boomin, big hit. Oh, there we go, he's got one.
And Amya's still chilling. He hasn't done anything really, I think, in this fight. He's just been sitting there, only picked up 6 more unit kills in the last one. And also...
Yeah, it's the annoyances he caused, and with that breach open alone, I feel like that is a very big play for NoBeaches, to be fair. And with being outside, with taking over the supply points and whatnot, means that YeahBuddy got spawn in, they've got to get on the supply point, they've got to wait a couple of seconds to capture the supply point before they can really start pushing back in. So even though it's only like a 5, maybe 10-second thing, it adds up over the course of the battle. And because I'm been doing this quite often as well, it can really take up a lot of time.
Yeah, and if you take a look at the units right now, 463 for YeahBuddy, they only got a minute left for 790 for NoBeaches. They're sitting in the gate really strong there. Nothing really that can take them out. So it doesn't look like YeahBuddy might get through, but who knows, they'll try anyway.
Yeah, they're going to try, keep going. You know, I mean, you've got a minute left, just throw everything you got at it and just see what happens. But yeah, I think NoBeaches has definitely got this one. They're all set up on the A point here. They're just going to go right into YeahBuddy. They know they've got a unit advantage on them, so they're
Ooh, they got a big flank though coming in here from Nifty. That's a nice one on the back there. They actually got through.
Very nice.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Maybe we spoke too soon. NoBeaches was selling on the wall there, going to the top, and now they need to jump back to the point.
Yeah, that was a huge play from YeahBuddy. Coming in from the back with that big cav charge, huge play.
They may, technically they can still get it, but there's way too many bodies from NoBeaches on the point, I think.
Yeah, YeahBuddy have really got to just bundle on these heroes as quick as possible. I don't think there's enough time now. Yeah, I don't think there's enough time now, but very good play there at the end. And it kills, and I think just like we expected, quite a big game.
Exactly.
First match was very good.
Yeah, lots of kills coming in there. NoBeaches looking good here. Definitely going for that third win in a row.
Yeah.
Looked very convincing. We'll
and
see what they can do
here,
attack.
Yeah, you got Zenga with 9 hero kills, 10 assists. Juba, 4 hero kills, 17 assists. Ups, 11 assists.
Ioku 6-2 and 11, also 128. Like insane numbers here.
Amazing.
So many shield maidens were killed as well. You could see that like before the last fight, but they didn't have any tier 5 units left, even though they picked so many shield maidens. So they were definitely all killed in the first one. Winkro still doing quite well with 95 unit kills over on YeahBuddy's side. And Lazy Imperator even getting 4 hero kills with his Scimitar. He's been getting those hero kills in every single match.
Yeah, Lazy loves it. Absolutely loves it.
Yeah, quite so. Alright.
Overall, both sides, very good stats.
Yep. Yeah, that first fight was just like gapped by NoBeaches, like so big. But yeah,
it is a nice strategy, and if NoBeaches were a bit slower, I feel like YeahBuddy would have actually got that. But NoBeaches did reply pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And getting that pincer movement in as well through the breach of Amya, that was a very big play from them.
Yeah, that was really good.
I feel like definitely won them that fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
NoBeaches were very good at splitting up YeahBuddy as well. YeahBuddy could have stayed a little bit more tighter together. I think it would have been a different match. But NoBeaches really did open the hole up in their blob and kind of played it on their field a little bit better. But nah, awesome first fight.
Yep.
A lot of killing.
A lot of killing. Absolutely a lot of killing. Almost insane amounts of kills, not gonna lie there. Yep. Alright, lobby's up as well.
Match. Same password, I'm guessing.
Yeah, same password, same everything. Alright, so just gonna quickly hit in the bands as well. Yep. So that was quite insane, not gonna lie. Yeah, I definitely expected a bit more from YeahBuddy, but like I think NoBeaches just played a bit smarter than them. You mentioned it with the supply, there was a good catch out there from Amya, and then yeah, they're just gonna do the fight probably that they wanted there. Felt a little hasty, and then
yeah,
it didn't get
I think with attacking this map, like there's so many elements you got to take into it. So I said like from the Divine Crows on the defender's side, so there's so many opens as well with all the breaches, the main gate and whatnot. YeahBuddy, I feel like stacked up a little bit too much. It could have probably had 5 players go through front gate while they had people going down. The supply point is a very important supply point, so getting any kind of foothold in that supply point can definitely win you the A point on that. NoBeaches. So I said about hero mechanics, they were doing what they do, and with someone like Amya in there, like Amya his stats weren't amazing in that fight, but what he did was huge.
That was nice.
But being outside, getting the supply points, wasting that time for the enemy, and then jumping on the cannons to take out the breach and drop 50 odd units is it was quite a big play. Absolutely. And then being able to come in with his dagger axes as well and just clear up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, YeahBuddy in the last fight there, like I didn't see those dagger axes coming, and then right down the middle and really did start clearing them up.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that was insane. Like the clear there from YeahBuddy, if that happened like maybe 30-40 seconds earlier, I mean, in the end, of course, you could see NoBeaches were all rushing back because it probably was like 10 against 6 or something inside the gate in favor of YeahBuddy, because NoBeaches was just chasing kills on top of the wall. But they almost got YeahBuddy a chance to get back into the game. But like I really liked seeing Amya, of course, getting the hero kills, but I even like him better now. I think with NoBeaches, where he is making plays all the time that we can see are impactful, but you need to watch him to see that it is, because it's not showing in the score, and that's a different kind of Amya we're seeing right now.
It's a very interesting player overall. He's very good at hero killing. We've seen videos left, right, and center on YouTube of him killing people, and this new like way he's playing at the moment with all these disturbances, with the annoyances and stuff, it wastes time, and you can tell with him, like, he is looking for that opportunity to waste your time as much as possible, or to hit you where it hurts without you knowing. And he's very good at it. He's been very good at it for a long time, and we're really starting to see it recently. And yeah, it's always enjoyable to watch.
Absolutely. It looks like NoBeaches is already ready inside the lobby.
Yeah, they're keen. They've got the morale up now.
Yep, exactly. YeahBuddy's still recovering from that one.
Yeah.
So we'll see. They need some more time there.
They definitely have a little chat right now just to hype themselves back up. You know, that might be one game down, but it doesn't mean they can't tie this game up. Exactly. You know, all these players know how to play this map. They've been playing this map in Territory Wars now for multiple seasons. So they kind of know every inch of this map.
Exactly. And of course there's been slight changes to the map, but that doesn't really mean that the fundamentals of the map have changed. Like, yes, a few traps can hit, but that doesn't mean that the whole map has changed. Something we saw a lot from teams before was that as the attacker, they would also take the supply on the right side, just get it, just cover it. Didn't see any attention to the right side this time, so heavy focus on the left.
Yeah, no, it was quite an interesting strategy. The left side supply is very important for defenders, because keeping that up means they can constantly cycle units through to the A point to keep it as safe as possible. Right side, normally defenders would normally completely ignore it anyway until the attackers kind of make a move from that side.
Oh.
So maybe, YeahBuddy we're going for, I think, the bit more of the riskier play, keeping breaches on one hit, wanting to go across and down and try and hit the supply point. Like, I understood what they're trying to do there. It sadly didn't work out as much as they would have hoped. So it was quite a ballsy move, but I definitely saw where they're coming from there. It's a bit of a pity it didn't work, but it's the way Conqueror's Blade goes sometimes. Yep,
sure is. Alright, so before the match you said what unit is going to have a big impact on this one. Have you figured it out yet?
I do feel like it's Cav. I feel like
the dagger,
we saw
the dagger X lances,
yeah, they hurt Mauls. They really do hurt Mauls. So to have one of them kind of around somewhere is quite important, and it's like you saw, even though it's the last like 10 seconds, but that dagger X lance right down the middle did give NoBeaches a little bit of a bloody nose there, and it's like you said, if it was like a minute or so beforehand when it happened, I think YeahBuddy would have got that A point with dagger X usage like that.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, unless it was of course for the dagger X lances on NoBeaches, but yeah, definitely a close one there. I think also especially in the first fight, the Shenjis made a huge impact. We could see 2 Shenji on NoBeaches, and the players that played Shenji had like around 50 or 60 unit kills at the end of the fight. So if well protected, Shenji of course just kill any setup basically.
Yeah, their grenades are strong. They can CC units of those grenades, and then the rapid fire they get after it as well can be very devastating. Definitely when you've just done an Amia play where you've taken out a whole unit of imp shields, you're opening up your attack to harassment from these Shenjis, and yeah, Shenjis can really be devastating when they're left alone.
Yeah, absolutely right. Alright, so very curious to see. Let's see, we're almost getting our teams ready, so now we should be good to go for our second game. Whew. I'm kind of worried for YeahBuddy here, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think YeahBuddy can pull it out here. They can definitely pull it out here. It'd be interesting to see how NoBeaches are going to attack this. I don't feel like they're going to be doing the same strategy. I feel like this YeahBuddy strategy was definitely a very risky, unique play. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. It was just very risky.
Yep.
I feel like NoBeaches probably be looking. My money's on probably the right breach, like we said earlier, with hitting that right supply to be able to stack up properly. And with the amount of like alleyways there are between the right supply point and the X point, they can really find little flanks and whatnot where people like Amia and the musket players are going to have a lot of enjoyment with.
Yeah, absolutely right. Alright, looks like both teams are ready. So just waiting for the ready check and then we're good to go.
Happy days.
Yep, so I'm really looking forward to seeing some more Ghost X and Amia sitting in the back trying to wreak havoc with the Cav. I think maybe what the YeahBuddy push needed in the attack on the left supply was some Cav going through the other side of the breach, like getting into the back to get that flank going, because there wasn't any flank in the first fight. Of course they were also rushed because they got the breach destroyed behind them. So we'll see if they can recover from that one, because yeah, they might have just said after the first fight, alright, this one is lost because it's so many losses in that one. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yep. Alright, here we go then. Yep.
Let's get it.
Let's get
Both
it
teams
done.
are very good, very veteran players. So anything can happen. Anything at all.
That's right.
Let's have a look at what kind of unit setups these guys are going to be using now.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, YeahBuddy is definitely a really good team, really good players. We said it before the match, so if they just get it together, then they will be able to get this win, no doubt. So we'll see.
100%. Seeing these units out, so it seems like NoBeaches are going for a lot of anti-cav. See, unit axe throwers, very interesting. They've got more camels this time, so they're definitely looking at the anti-cav kind of side of things.
Already double cav already on YeahBuddy, really heavy double cav, by the way.
Yeah.
If they're not even going for Sally, then they're just going to double cav it inside the city all the time.
Yeah, they're going to be looking for those flanks. So I said, this map is so many alleyways and whatnot where you can get flanks off left, right, and center. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. There's also a few places inside the city where it's a bit easier now to move with the cav, especially around the 8 point.
Yeah, so exactly, 100%. And NoBeaches have definitely gone for more of an anti-cav kind of setup. Interested to see some axe throwers, so very interesting. So we see how they'll go.
Yeah, the Curse Fly with the X-Raiders, and we also had Emiya, right? And Vasectomy.
Yeah, so maybe they know something we don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, YeahBuddy high on cav, NoBeaches quite high on anti-cav, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this one's going to work out. Because on paper right now, NoBeaches should have an easy defense, but YeahBuddy had definitely going to be looking for his flanks to catch his 40s and whatnot off guard, and to look for his big wipes.
Yeah,
Had a Quinn as well. He's got some archers. I believe they're Lamcans.
Yeah, no, those were incendiary archers. You also played them on the attack as well. Yep.
Yeah. He range is very good against Crescent Monks, so without Crescent Monks, it'll be interesting to see what they're going to be used for.
Yep. We'll see. We're going to find out in a bit, perhaps. Alright, so again, NoBeaches covering all their artillery pieces. That's important. That's the first step.
Yep.
Doesn't look like we're gonna get a Sally. I expected maybe somewhat of a Sally here, perhaps. YeahBuddy trying to get their momentum going, but I don't think it's a smart call.
Yeah, no Sally. Good anti-cav going on here. Divine Crow with Bad Quins on the left side is still alive, and as I said, it's a very strong artillery piece. Oh, and it's gone.
Alright, so we got a few climbers up there.
Yeah. Who are they?
Who is this one? Alright, so Vasectomy climbing on the right, and Emiya climbing on the left.
Yeah, probably looking for that cheeky kill. Yeah, Emiya's getting that Divine Crow. Getting it out. As I said, it's a very strong artillery. And as you see, Emiya's off. I don't see much of a setup in gate, so I believe they're just going to let him have the main gate. So I believe they're going to be looking at probably a bottom of the stairs on both sides kind of setup instead. Right breach has gone down, left breach is it's halfway, so...
Yeah, breach already down on the right side, like that. So definitely a different plan here from NoBeaches. YeahBuddy is focused very heavily on the side that they attacked as well, I think. If you look at the unit placement right now.
Yeah, they are. They're all around the corner, where, as you saw with NoBeaches, they're all in the gate. So it's very interesting. NoBeaches are just kind of chilling out right now, just letting YeahBuddy hit all the towers, hit all the breaches and whatnot.
Yep.
I guess that is the thing with defenders here. Like, there's so many different entrances where you kind of got to wait on the attackers to see whereabouts they're going to be attacking before you can really set up properly. As you see with YeahBuddy right now, they're at the bottom of the stairs. They're kind of rotating around a little bit. They've got their 40s set up near the A point. And NoBeaches are going up on the right side. We've got someone going towards the top right. Oh, it's Emiya going towards the top right supply point.
Of course it is Emiya. Alright, there's camels being pulled out from the supply. So you can see YeahBuddy rotating as well to that supply now.
Yeah,
so I'm not just going to give it up for free. Oh, NoBeaches is already going to the gate though. Like, YeahBuddy was retreating to the supply, and now they're just sitting on the A point with heroes.
Yeah, they're just all jumping the A point.
Yeah, baiting the traps, already 20% captured. Oof. There was some free capture points just because of Amya again going to the supply.
Yeah, a lot of people just start rotating up towards him, which I think you only need probably maximum 2 people up there anyway.
Just look at the amount of cav. Like this is one thing YeahBuddy definitely decided on. Like it's insane.
There's a lot of cav. Yeah, YeahBuddy are looking for his flanks.
They've definitely exposed their strat right now a little bit. I think those 2 mauls going back with the shields to the supply are gonna get some anti-cav here.
Yeah, they definitely need it. And then you got Amir in the back there, getting that supply point. It's nice to have that supply point in the top right for an attacker, but it's not massive. And yeah, you got someone heading there now. I think it's Lazy. Yeah, Lazy versus Amir. So that's a fight. It seems like Amir got him with his camels.
Nice one.
There's a bit of camel versus camel warfare now in the back supply point area.
Yeah, so Amir definitely still got it going.
Yeah. NoBeaches are still on the wall though. I'm thinking they're trying to look for that kink in that armor. Yeah. Amir's around the back with his camels. He's definitely waiting for that flank.
They may actually just be going through the gate here, I think, once again, because the Sicalian is still sitting down there.
Yeah, you can really start kind of...
They may be trying to make a move here. Trap flying in.
Oh, friendly trap hit the medal on the left.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta watch out for those traps, mate.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with his traps.
Yep.
Yeah, looks like they come down the right side now, and main gate as well. Yep, I believe double push like that is always good.
There's also short going for that supply. It's probably gonna intercept it.
Oh, Lazy got Amir back.
Ooh, damn, we got something going on there. Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to focus on the fight because it's going to engage right here, right now.
Yeah, you've got Star Wars involved there. You've got Myrmidones on the bottom there with Zenga.
Yeah, big Sicalian throw. We're all units braced right here for NoBeaches, so we have to find out if the Cav can actually be able to get in.
Yeah. Ayoku with the Shenjis in the back there, really doing some work with the Shenji.
Ooh, big. There's a massive charge fully stopped.
Yeah, that's fully stopped. There's a lot of anti-cab pushing through by NoBeaches.
Jaffa trying to get to the backline there with the Shenji, but he cannot get it. Iyoku retreating the Shenji just in time to stop the Cav from reaching to him.
Yeah,
Still no doubt is holding.
Yeah, and I feel like this is such a bad thing about having a heavy Cav set up on defense. Like, look, you've seen all the Cav coming in now, but you've got 40s left, right, and center, right? So I think we're going to see a lot of Cav death right now. Like, yeah.
Yeah, this is just Cav fest. I mean, they are gonna get through it, but it's gonna cost them so much right now. Oh, a big trap gonna fly in as well. YeahBuddy getting it back.
Very heavy Cav push, and it worked. That
exactly.
Definitely got to start looking at rotating back to supply point, knocking out these couple of units here. Yeah, you got Katas with Amya. They
cleaned the point, but there's still a longsword right now sitting on a point. So if NoBeaches are able to get in quickly enough, they can get those final few seconds on the A point. They will be able to rotate in time, but it costs them a lot of cav.
Yeah, that's a lot of cav. NoBeaches did have, what, 2-3 units of 40s there, so still gonna get them the cav push through them, but at the same time, was it really worth it?
Yeah.
But now we're starting to see some 40s head towards the A point now.
Yeah. I mean, there's 200 of tier 5s left for YeahBuddy, so they definitely still do have all the cav left that they need, I think, to maybe do this once more. You can see a lot of Dagger X lances on their lineup still. And there's a lot of shields on the side of NoBeaches, that not even that many anti-cav right now. Like 2 units of Camel and then 2 units of Fort Barchu.
It's going to be interesting to see how this next attack's going to go. Definitely the lack of cav as well from YeahBuddy.
So supplies have all gone back to their original owners.
And YeahBuddy, they're in the back now with units, so they're definitely waiting for that big push from NoBeaches, and we see that they're starting to mount up down at the bottom of the right side of the stairs right now.
Absolutely. We got Vasectomy, Amya, and Ghostek sitting on the left side of the battlefield right now, looking for a flank.
Waiting for it, so I wouldn't be surprised if NoBeaches will start pushing in any second now. They're going to let their Shenjis, they've got 2 units of Shenjis there, so they're going to let their Shenjis really kind of throw as many grenades as possible and get as many shots off as possible. We see some axe throwers as well. Getting thrown up. Thrown in some axes, so
Yeah, but they definitely
grenades
need the
going
same
off
point this
now.
time, yeah. They're for Tabacho just walking in, not getting anything. Alright, again, good grace from both for Tabacho and the camels on the point right here from NoBeaches. Here comes the Cav though.
Yeah, but here comes the Cav. Will it go through the second time? It doesn't seem it.
No, that's...
Yeah, Liao's on the left side there. Yeah, they're
Yep.
on. Yeah, I feel
Definitely
like NoBeaches
stronghold.
has definitely got this A point now.
Yep, and NoBeaches is also sitting on that supply already. They got 4 or 5 from YeahBuddy there. They cannot rotate their units. There goes the A point as well.
And that's a lot of YeahBuddy just hanging around by that supply point. What's that, 6, 7 heroes? That's a lot of heroes to be off the A point.
Yeah, Vasectomy and Amiya definitely wrecking that side. I think also Ghost X went there as well. Fully stopping YeahBuddy from rotating with any of their units there.
Yeah, and as you can see now, YeahBuddy are now at the supply point in the back. They're getting as many units out as possible to get onto that A point and start mounting up that big defense. In a lot of cav though, so
yep.
Again, I feel like they're going to try and do what they did in the first fight. They're going to try and just cav spam it through.
Yeah, and they need to like fully win that fight because time is not in the favor of the defenders right now. It's 8 minutes left.
Same with the units as well. They're a couple hundred units behind as well. So they got to really make a big play here to even things out a bit. NoBeaches on the left side, and they're running around the back with their cav and a unit of 40s as well to the right side. So I guess they're going around this way for a safer kind of approach towards it because they probably know that YeahBuddy have got a lot of cav out right now, and the last thing they want to do is have their units get caught out randomly.
I think we gotta be careful though. Like NoBeaches, they do have like a lot of peasants right now. Ooh, Vasectomy getting the kill against Rinko, that's nice. So there's around 200 peasants more from NoBeaches than YeahBuddy. So the quality of YeahBuddy's units is higher.
Which will make a massive difference in this fight. But then again, on NoBeaches, I'm seeing Zarkanian Militia. I'm still seeing, I say, half a unit of Shenjis there. And if they get the right kind of grades off, they can really make a big difference. YeahBuddy are really cycling their cav around. They've got cav in literally all different directions here, looking on that end point, and they're just waiting for NoBeaches to have that one little mess up to be able to cav flank them through.
Exactly.
NoBeaches have a very good defensive setup, even though they are starting to get ready for a mounted up for an attack. Like Camels brace and 40s brace left, right, and center as well. So for anyone on YeahBuddy's side to get a successful flank off, they're going to struggle. They're definitely going to struggle.
Yeah, NoBeaches cannot afford to make any mistakes.
Amiya as well.
Yeah.
So Amiya's been pinged in the back there. He is becoming a bit of an annoyance. YeahBuddy are giving them a bit of their own medicine here by going on the left supply point, probably trying to see if they can seize it as quick as possible.
Yeah, at the same time, NoBeaches starting to move in with 4 or 5 guys from YeahBuddy sitting on that supply, but that's exactly what YeahBuddy wants. Like you said, they want NoBeaches to get in, expose themselves.
Yeah. I think as well, I don't think they needed like 4 or 5 people in that bottom left supply there. It was good to cut Amiya's unit, but at the same time now, you've got NoBeaches literally starting to set up on the endpoint, and YeahBuddy are now starting to intercept them. It's going to be quite a big fight here.
First cav charge is pretty free though.
Yeah, that's a bit of an int, not going to lie. This is where unit play comes into things like heavy armors should be belly flopping.
Ooh, nothing in the back though. Here comes YeahBuddy in the back. That's a really strong attack there. Camels still sitting there though.
Yeah, there are camels there, and the camels are doing work against all this cav. There's so much cav getting CC'd right now in the back. It's crazy how effective brace camels can be.
Yeah, the Star Wars still strong in the front line as well, sitting with the Fortuacho, I think.
Yeah, so NoBeaches, they're still alive. They're still going very strong here. They have
only 7 heroes from YeahBuddy alive though right now.
So YeahBuddy need to spawn back in and get on that point as quick as possible right now.
Yeah, they got so many deaths. I don't feel like YeahBuddy's gonna get on this point anymore.
And NoBeaches had a very good little strategy there, where they were blocking off their backs and their fronts, and they dealt with that flank very well.
YeahBuddy need their death guys to come in with cav, but I don't feel like they may be coming in quick enough now.
NoBeaches will.
Yeah, we can see British General leading the battle.
Slow him down. That's what we got to do. Just slow him down, and GG.
And here we go. NoBeaches taking the win, still undefeated after 3 matches. Strong performance right now.
Very well. Yeah, very strong performance by both teams. To be honest with you, like it just shows how good these veteran players can really be.
Yeah. This one was way closer though than the first one.
Yeah, it was very close. Again with like Amiya 2 and 4 there, like the stats don't look amazing, but what he does is just
Absolutely insane.
It's hilariously amazing. Like he just does the silliest things, and they work out so well. Not a crazy amount of hero kills in this fight though.
Yep.
I think you've got a couple of 4s for Madchen and Feud on one side, and I can't even say his name, but above MXNU, the pipe there, 5 and 2, and a lazy 4 and 2. So but a lot of people here, maybe 1 or just 0 hero kills. So not a lot of hero killing in this fight, but there was a lot of unit killing.
Absolutely true. I mean, Shaolin Shu on the side of YeahBuddy did get 5, like you said, and then we also have Lazy Imperator on YeahBuddy's side again with the 4 hero kills. I mean, he's basically saying the minimum I get in a match is going to be 4 hero kills, and then maybe some more. So good performance there. But he did get solo killed by Amya, which was quite a fun thing.
Yeah, I thought there was a nice little rivalry between him and Amya there.
Yep.
So yeah, it was quite enjoyable to watch.
Exactly. In the end, he came out on top though. That is Lazy. All right. Yeah, so looking at the fights, looks like the first one eventually was won. Like at the start it was won by NoBeaches, but then YeahBuddy came back, wiped the point. And then the second and third fight, NoBeaches just did better, got their hold on the point, with especially with the camels, I think. And then YeahBuddy just not able to get their cav in like they were able to in the first fight.
Camels and 40s together, just perfect anti-cav duo. And they really proved it. YeahBuddy went for quite a heavy cavalry defense.